Hey, everyone. Hey, good evening, man. Welcome to On the Rocks. I'm Jamie Wilson. I'm going to be your host for tonight. And man, I can't believe it's Christmas. It's December. This has got to be the weirdest year all of us have ever experienced. I mean, aside from the pandemic, aside from, things shutting down and the world stopping, it seems like time is going by so slow, and then all of a sudden it goes by so fast. And here we are. It's December. And so this is Christmas. I mean, it's so weird. Right. And I feel an energy in the air. I've been out a lot lately, for work and for play as well. All responsibly and safely, of course, as much as I can. But it's kind of weird na parang my energy tayo ng Christmas. And I think I was having a good discussion earlier today that the one beautiful thing that this pandemic, that this crisis has brought us, that now that we've had to stop our lives and basically stay at home all the time and try to repurpose ourselves or reinvent ourselves in a sense, all the small things that we've taken for granted before, once this pandemic is over, we are no longer going to be taking it for granted. Kung may imbita na barkada, once the vaccine's out and we're okay na to go out and lumuwag na lahat at wala na wala na yung virus doon, we're all going to be taking advantage and not taking for granted what we used to. Kung may imbita ng barkada, kita tayo sa isang bar or sa restaurant or kita tayo sa Greenbelt. We're going to be so atat to actually go out and actually with this sense of loss that we're experiencing during this pandemic, we're actually going to come back, I think, with renewed energy. And it's the perfect season to give out positive energy because it's Christmas. And I, when Christmas used to come in the years past, you're always thinking about, my family reunion na naman, saan tayo mag-Noche Buena, what gift do I get, so and so, and this Christmas season feels different because nga, we're still operating under a pandemic. And I think it's, at least for me personally, it's making me really feel the true sense of Christmas, of being generous to people, of spreading good cheer, of spreading good vibes. And tonight, it's all about good vibes. We actually named this episode The Good, the Bad, and the Handsome. And we're going to find out who's who tonight. And it's going to be fantastic because I've just discovered new music, and I love discovering new music. I love sharing new music, and tonight we're going to be hearing how these young boys, these young men, created their music. But of course, keeping me company tonight, aside from our fantastic guests, is our friends from Liquor.ph sent me a bottle tonight of Shivas Regal. And I love Shivas Regal, but this is a little extra. It's called Shivas Regal Extra 13 Rye. Now, of course, they gave me a spiel to say, and I'm going to say it with an accent because, Shivas Regal, so medyo social to. So, this 13-year-old blended Scotch whiskey is selectively finished in American rye casks for an extra mellow blend. Discover long, mellow flavors that are made to be savored in this delicate whiskey. It's not a delicate whiskey. I've had a few shots and it's not delicate at all. It's nice, it's strong, but it's smooth. So thank you so much to my friends from Liquor.ph. And hey, man, buti na lang 13 years old ang whiskey because honestly, when you ask me, I always say that mentally, emotionally, maturity wise, I'm 12 years old. But because of 2020, I think I aged another year. So I'm actually saying I'm 13 years old. So sakto lang yung 13-year-old blended Scotch whiskey from Shivas Regal from our friends from Liquor.ph. And speaking of 13-year-olds, of course, you know, my friends at Buenos Dias Panaderia sent me another box of Milo buns, and really, I'm addicted to these things. So I can't wait to have some before I go to bed tonight. You guys really spoil me, so thank you so much, Buenos Dias Panaderia. It's so nice to have seen you face to face over the weekend, and I am hoping to see more of you because I am on a mission to share my addiction, and these Milo buns are my new addiction. So okay, so let's get to our guests tonight, guys. I discovered their music. They're signed with Offshore, and when I was listening to their music, I'm from the old school punk days. There was a time when I did wear a mohawk. I had not even Doc Martens. I had army boots, ripped up jeans, and spikes. I had a mohawk that I put up, with Elmer's glue. And this was serious punk. This was the era of like Dead Kennedys and all these guys. I love the Dead Kennedys. But anyway, this was serious punk. And when you hear these guys, I can't help but think that the words came to my mind how to describe them as happy punks. And they're amazing because when you're in a mosh pit, you remember concerts, you remember mosh pits, guys. I know we haven't had any all year, but when you're in a mosh pit and somebody's bouncing around, all this entire crowd is bouncing around an inflatable beach ball. Pare, I felt like I was the beach ball being bounced around when I was listening to these guys. So, hey, man, let's bring them on. All right. These guys are the happy punks. Their songs have made it to my permanent playlist because I absolutely love them so much. And I can't wait to hear from them and to share them with you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Suspiria Pink. Hey, guys. Hi, Gwen. Hi,
Hello.
Benson. Hi, Jago. Jago, what are you wearing? Is that a mask? Was that a mask?
Hello.
You're freaking me out, Jago. You're
What's up?
freaking me
What's up?
out, man. So, how are you guys doing, man? How is the pandemic treating you guys?
The pandemic. There's not really nothing to do this pandemic. It's like sobrang hassle actually. Like,
So,
well, we
you're just hanging out at home?
yeah.
Pretty
What are you
much.
doing? What are you doing keeping your what keeps you busy?
I know ako. I just play like video games. I play League of Legends. Yeah, I play League of Legends. We mostly play video games, the three of us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we usually make music, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, music is good. Music is good. You know, I've been listening to your tracks, right? And I absolutely love your music. But then there's one burning question that is just on my mind. How the hell did you come up with the name Suspiria Pink?
Band name.
Hmm.
I know,
Hmm.
yeah, I know it's a bad name. I know it's your band
Okay.
name, but how did you come up with this? And what is Suspiria?
Okay. So the band name came from well, the band formed. It was initially a duo, me and Diego, and we spent about a month. We were like, I don't know, but it was high school, so we were drinking a lot, and it was
Yeah.
during break. So we were just constantly drinking, and we were coming up with so many songs and recording them. And then one of the nights we were recording our songs, we were looking up horror movies because we were looking for band names, and we just thought it would be cool to have a horror movie band name. So we came across Suspiria, and for me, I really gravitated towards that name because Suspiria isn't exactly a word that everyone knows. So I just thought that it would be cool to have a band name that like we could define
Hmm.
because like I wanted a band name to be like if you thought of Suspiria, you wouldn't think of anything else but us. So that's
Parang
pretty
Yeah.
much why.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Nirvana.
like the Google algorithm. They
Yeah.
only find out.
That's true. The Google algorithm is on your side because if anybody
Yeah.
Googles Suspiria, you will come up immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the movie.
Yeah, or
Or the
the
movie,
movie.
Or
or
the
the movie.
movie.
But then, hey, man, on my list, it's you guys because you know what? I personally don't like the color pink. But I
Yeah.
like
Man.
many other Pinks in my life. I like Pink, the singer. She kicks ass, right? I like Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Mm.
They're an amazing band, right? And now I have Suspiria Pink.
Mhm.
So that's fantastic, right? So what are your musical influences, guys? What did you grow up listening to?
Benson, you want to start?
Well, I remember the first time that I really fell in love with music was because my Lola used to drive me to school, and he had a old car, so all he had was a cassette player
Mm.
in the car, and I remember he only had like two batches of cassettes. He had like "Please Please Me" by the Beatles, "Help," and then he also had like bootleg Queen's Greatest Hits. And personally, I
Wow.
was I was on the side of I'm on the Queen side of the the two British bands. So parang I think that comes out in the music that we write right now. Parang very I'd like to think that it's bombastic in a way, the same way that Queen is. So yeah, at a young age, at like grade 3, I started listening to Queen, and then when I was in high school, I got into metal like Black Sabbath and whatnot. And then after that, I fell in love with pop punk, which like Green Day, Blink 182. But I think for Suspiria, that's primarily how like I treat like my musical approach is more similar to Blink and Green Day, and I guess philosophically it's more like Queen, if that makes sense. Like in spirit, I'm thinking, oh, I want it to be like bombastic and loud and um,
And in your
glory.
face and
Yeah,
glorious. Yeah, glorious.
yeah.
That's it, man. Whenever I'm listening to High, I feel glorious. I love that song of yours, man. I like all three songs of yours. All three singles are amazing. It's on my permanent playlist. What about
Thank
you, Jago? What did you grow up listening to?
Growing up, well, basically when I started listening to music, because my dad, as a singer, he would also play his usual songs in his concerts. So mga like mga Josh Groban, Andre Bocelli, mga ganun. Like it's weird, no? It's out of like the music that we listen to now. I started singing at like 2 years old when my dad was practicing in the room and I grabbed his mic from him and I started singing his song, and then after that, it just snowballed from there. I grew up in grade 4, mga dubstep, mga electronic stuff. Tapos I started listening to rock, OPM, mga Parokya ni Edgar, stuff like that. And then I went to metal, tuloy-tuloy yung metal, and then I had my emo phase. Of course, like you, what you described kanina, your tomahawk and your
Your tomahawk.
your
Mohawk.
mohawk,
You call them Mohawk.
your
Tomahawk is
mohawk,
an
your your yung stick. So yung mohawk mo and stuff like that. Like ganun, get emo, like always in black. And then eventually like I toned down into like Fall Out Boy, punk rock and stuff like that. So parang growing up listening to all these types of music, I learned to appreciate all types of music. And here in this band now, growing up, I still love rock. I still have a deep love for rock, punk rock most especially. Um, with that, it kind of made me want to be different from everyone else. Yung parang since I grew up with so many different influences, I wanted to make something different. I wanted something that always sounded different because if it sounded like anything I've heard before, I'd get bored of it in like one
Mm.
listen. That's just me, and I think that's what I'm able to bring to the table with Suspiria. Kaya we're, you
Yeah.
know, with all their
Mhm.
Awesome.
influences and stuff.
Awesome. What about you,
Yeah.
Gwen?
For me, it was it was the older people in my life. I would be discovering their CDs, their cassettes. My sister had this mixtape that was given to her by some boy that liked her, and it had Black Sabbath, it had Led Zeppelin. I was super hooked on that CD, and ever since then, I would just like because of that. I gravitated to like older music as a kid, and I just never really touched anything besides that. And also, my dad, he was a guitarist, and he had a bunch of cassettes in his house. Like through his cassettes, I discovered like Metallica, The Clash, all those classic punk bands. And yeah, like Benson, growing up, I mean, I think it speaks a lot for our generation. We grew up with the pop punk because that was like the big thing when we were kids. So yeah, pop punk is a big
Yeah,
part
but
of
hey, you're talking to me. You guys are still kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
when we were kids, that's like 5 minutes ago. When you guys talk about, you know what I
it's
mean?
true. Yeah.
No, but I think it's fascinating that you guys grew up listening to the older stuff and not listening to the current stuff.
Mm,
And I mean, some of the bands that you've mentioned right now, from the Clash to, Led Zepp and Black Sabbath, Queen, of course, the Beatles, the immortal
mm,
Beatles, right? Um, what what music do you listen to now?
hmm.
Actually, interesting. Who
Our
wants to start?
music. I listen to
Yeah.
Suspiria Pink.
You just listen to your music? That's kind of weird, man.
Okay,
Kaya
I
kaya ako
get it. I
nag-play
get it.
4,000
Or
streets sa high.
are you just playing it on loop in Spotify para mas marami kayong stream?
Kailangan mag-stream farm.
I don't know about
You have to
that.
check the algorithm. No,
I
seriously,
think.
well, now, nung grade 11, grade 12, I really got into Arctic. And actually, I was playing in a band, Arctic Monkeys. I was playing in a
Yeah.
band before Gwen and Diego poached me. Na it was more, ano talaga, more that style of like Brit rock music. And um, when they poached me, parang I was reminded of my love talaga of punk. And to this day, I still listen to a lot of Green Day and Blink, as I said, 21 Pilots, stuff like that. I'm the ano eh, kasi si Gwen sa si Diego, they're more into the underground stuff. You know, I'm a surface level enthusiast, if you
Okay,
will.
so okay,
Mhm.
so you're talking to an older guy here. So what's underground? What do you mean by
Hmm.
Grabe
underground?
naman yung pagka-underground, parang lala.
Di naman super underground, but I feel like just because the internet nowadays, you could just listen to so much music, and it's so accessible. So I think that's why we gravitated to underground because you could just find stuff that was more specific to your taste nowadays. It's easier.
By
Yeah.
Can you name
underground,
a
you
f-
mean
can
like
you, can I name
under
can you name a few
50,000
bands because I'm gonna like list this down because if I want to stay hip here, you know what I
Like,
mean? I want to stay like current. So if you guys are listening to something underground that are not on your usual playlist, then I gotta know what's so Gwen, what's your favorite underground band now?
I mean, I wouldn't call them underground because they're pretty popular. Pero a lot of the bands I listen to now, they're like what the previous generation has evolved into, what the genres that we grew up with has evolved into. So I listen to a lot of like, um, I'm not sure if you've heard of emo revival, but emo is like I didn't like it that much, but it evolved into this thing which I really like now. Nowadays, bands like Joyce Manor and Pup and Remo Drive, those bands are just really great, and they took elements of the past and just brought it, like they just refreshed it.
Wow,
yeah.
I gotta list this down. I gotta take this down. I have never heard of these bands, and the beauty about it, like when this pandemic happened and we were all stuck at home, right? I don't play video games because I
Mhm.
have a very addictive personality. Once I start playing a video game, I forget the rest of the world, which is not healthy for me, at least. So my addiction turned into discovering new music. And that's why I
Mhm.
love like you guys enumerating bands that I've never heard of because I'm going to look them up right after the show. This happens to me every show. If I hear a band I don't know, I list it down,
Listen to
or I
Mountain.
watch the episode again. I write it down, and I'm going to listen to them. And I
Yeah.
think sharing music, sharing your musical taste is something that is not only so evident in your music, the music that you create, but also for us to get to know your influence as well, your
Hmm.
influences as well. I think it's so important. So when you guys got together, how did that happen? Because the two of you were playing in a band already. How did you kidnap the third?
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, okay. So kami ni Gwen, we were like really drunk. Because we were making music already, right? We were just really drunk, and we were just like, wait, we can't play any of these without a drummer, you know? It's like
Hmm.
dalawa lang kami, and then we were like, we just think there's this guy who plays the drums. Let's think of all the other random guys in our high school because we're from Ateneo, so like same people lang we know, same people. They're actually a batch below me, but Gwen and I were bandmates kasi before Suspiria Pink. We were bandmates. We were a four piece, and then we detached. Dalawa lang
Mm,
kami. We became Suspiria Pink, but we need the third. So we were looking around and we saw this guy, si Benson, who was performing in his old band, and
Yeah.
we were just like, hey, he likes punk, he likes Green Day and stuff like that. I mean, that's closest to what we like, and he has his own style, but he has his own style. He doesn't sound like just an ordinary drummer. He has his own sound to him. So parang we said,
Bola
okay,
ka eh.
well, kilig naman si Benson.
Kinikilig ako eh.
Tapos we were like, what are you doing, Benson? And then we were just like, yeah, come on, you want to try like playing with us, jamming a bit, and we decided to jam.
Yeah,
Uh,
syempre at first I was pabebe. I was like, oh, I'll think about it. Pero deep down, I was like, man, I like these guys.
I
I,
love I love that. I love that reply. Hey, you want to join the band, or hey, you want to do that? I'll think about it. But inside you're like, "Pare, this is so cool."
yeah, yeah.
So how was that first jamming? How did that first jamming go? What did you guys jam on?
Did we make high on the first day? Oh
No,
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 we
no,
no.
did.
no.
No, we went to
We
the
were
Krusty Krab on the first.
Oh my god. Oh
we
no.
were playing the songs we recorded when we were drunk. It's sort of an EP-ish. It's a couple of like four or five songs. It's on SoundCloud. But yeah, we were playing those songs, and yeah,
We got a
So
gig.
yung
And then so you played those songs and then just basically told Benson, "Okay, man, hit it."
yeah, yeah. We just let
we
him do
sent
his
it to him.
thing.
we sent it to him. And then we were
Yeah.
like, this was the first gig ever kasi Gwen and I got a gig. Pero wala pa rin kaming drummer nun. Like, wala pa
Yeah.
talaga. Sure. Benson was like, we'll see. We could jam it out.
Without a drummer, how did that happen?
Without a drummer, we were just like,
You
we'll
were
just
just
jam it
hoping
out.
you'd find one.
So we were hoping we'd find one. So like on the gig day itself, gig day yun, diba? And we were like
Yeah.
looking for a studio, and all of the studios were closed. Like all of the
Yeah.
studios, wala. It was all booked. And then we found this like super low key, crusty crab looking studio.
Yeah.
It's like
It was in the
outside
middle
the
of
gate, may
nowhere.
parang anchor. Where
Yeah,
where
yeah,
are we
yeah.
guys? We're in this like side street in the middle of nowhere na may anchor yung front gate. And we entered and we're like, just, oh, this is a studio. It's a normal studio. Okay, we jammed. It was medyo sabog, but we were like, okay, let's do this. And then we went to our first gig in Taft sa Bagnet. So,
Wow.
Mhm.
sa Bagnet.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's how it started. You
Yeah,
know.
that's how it started.
And so when you decided, okay, this is a good mix, the three of you, when Benson decided, okay, I've thought about it, and okay, fine, I'll join. You know, um, did you guys start writing immediately?
Pretty much. No?
Like right after.
Yeah.
Siguro
Right
It
after
after.
wasn't
two
ano eh.
gigs.
It wasn't
Ah,
like we agreed upon anything. Oh guys, seryoso to. Like, I think that's sakit ng generation namin yun eh. We'll just assume na things are going serious and take things from there. So uh, we weren't like, hey guys, we'll take this seriously. I feel like we knew naman na
Mhm.
we valued what we had, and we just started giving each other, "Uy, what do you think about this song?" And then that's how it.
Mhm.
okay, so talking about songs, right? Talking about songs. You have X. I've been listening to your three singles that I can find on Spotify because I'm not on SoundCloud. I really should get on SoundCloud.
Mhm.
But X and X's and High, which is my favorite song because I just can't. I was bouncing to it like for the past 2 days, and Dismember Avenue. Um, so X and X's.
Mhm.
How did that song come about?
Someone asked, EB asked the question, Gwen. You want to
You want to
answer
address the
that?
question first, or
I think
me?
you can answer the question through answering what exit nexus is.
We don't have to name names, guys. We don't have to name names.
It's
Well, how did X start? I had a riff. I had a riff with X, and then we continued upon the riff with the whole song. And kasi we have this rule in our band: we don't write love songs just because, not because we have anything against it, but just because we feel it's I don't know, oversaturated. We feel there are many topics that would be more interesting to explore that haven't been explored. So parang you kind of wanted to poke fun at that. Kasi X and X sounds like a love song, but it's really like about the stupidest thing. It's about watching
porn.
certain videos.
About
It's
porn.
okay, guys. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Just be thankful that you belong to a generation just like music. Porn is readily available. I had to go and score my magazines, in brown paper bags, hard to find. Now, I can pick up my phone. You know.
Pero yun, it came from like an idea of like a bastardized love song. Kasi it's basically it. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well,
And I
that's
think
a
it's
pretty.
to touch upon the question that was asked about rock and incorporating it to X and X's. But I don't I do not personally I don't think that rock is dead. I think if anything it's in the best place it has ever been. Because there's
Mhm.
lots of people like us na they have been given the avenue more so than before. Because before, if you were in the 90s or whatever, you had to get signed. And while it does help nowadays, you don't, no, you can get your music out there. So I think in that sense, rock is more alive than it's ever been. But of course, we have to
Mhm.
acknowledge that it's not in the mainstream. But
Yeah.
it's there. It's kicking people's asses. So
What? Rock is not in the mainstream? Shit, I didn't know that. So yeah, so that question was posted by Ellie Buendia. No, Ellie, rock is not dead. I think it's alive and kicking in the hands of these kids. I think. Um,
thank you.
Kicking the
yeah,
hat.
yeah, kicking. As long as you wear pants, Diego.
Oh, oh, don't worry, don't
Okay.
worry. I have
So see, so he's wearing pants today because earlier in the call, before we went live, he just surprised all of us because he was in like the shortest boxer shorts I've ever seen, and I'm like, dude, this is not that kind of a show. All right, so let's talk about High.
Mm-hmm.
How did High come about? Because that is just the energy behind the song
Mm-hmm.
is, and of course your core. I get high with you, I get by with you sometime. It's an amazing, clever little lyric. But of course, I shouldn't be surprised because you guys are from the Ateneo, so you should have clever lyrics, right?
Oh, thank you, thank
But
you.
how did the writing of that song come about?
Oh,
Hmm.
well, do you want me to start, Gwen, or?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Yung high, how we started it, it was mostly when we got to when we got to the practice studio. We went to
Mm-hmm.
practice and we said let's jam a bit of things, and Gwen just like brought up to us na, hey, I have this song, I have this riff, I have this riff so
Mm.
far. So he gave us this riff na parang that sounded like the intro, right? The intro, and
Yeah,
it
it was the
sounded like
intro.
just the chords of the song. And then
Mm.
I said, and then Gwen and I and Benson, we were just like, let's add a beat to it. And Benson just added his own thing to it. And he was like, let's do the triplets. That's why you hear in the song there's like a ta ta ta. It's really catchy. I don't know that I want to mention it lang because it's really catchy thing when you hear that beat. And then I said, what if we 80s fi? That's why the way I played it on guitar, like, was the way I did in the recording. And
Yeah.
then with that, everything just came together. We recorded it on the phone for the first time, and we were just like, this is actually a really, really good song. And we didn't even know the lyrics. Gwen was the only one with the lyrics at that time. Actually, Gwen has all the credit for the lyrics on that song. Gwen made that song. And with that, parang we said, that's glorious. Even in the studio when we were recording it, Benson and I didn't even know the lyrics. Gwen was the
Yeah,
only one who knew the lyrics.
we were in a practice studio. We couldn't hear anything. We didn't hear the lyrics. Tapos I just recorded a copy of it in the pocket of my phone while I was playing. Then the three of us went inside the car. Then we listened to it. I mean, I think we knew that it was a good song. To be honest, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not to stroke our own, but I think we knew that we had something special when we listened to it, and so we talked about recording it.
Well, I think it's a really good song because I mean, like all songs, from time immemorial, from what you've been listening to growing up to your later influences and the songs that you are creating now, a good song makes people feel something,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not elevator music, it's not background music. And really, I've been up today since 5:30 in the morning. I've been out working, I've been on my feet for more than 12 hours. And you know what kept me going? I was secretly well, I was like, working. I had a shoot in Luneta Park today, and I was listening to that in my headphones on loop, high.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, for 12 hours, I'm standing on my feet. But then napansin ng mga kaibigan ko na parang yung mga katrabaho ko at na gumagano ako. Jamie, are you okay? Jamie, no, I'm just listening to a song. Why are you listening to a song? We're shooting. I'm like, it's okay. I don't have to listen to what you're playing, but I'm actually listening. I was listening to your song, and High actually kept me bouncing along today, even if I've been on my feet for 12 hours. But I think the beauty of this song that I personally love is the energy. It made me miss going to bars and seeing a band.
Mm-hmm.
It made me miss being in a mosh pit,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in great mosh pits. I've been in bad mosh pits. And I think your mosh pit I would really love to be in,
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
because with that song I'm going to be the beach ball bouncing around, pal. Okay, so let's go to Dismember Avenue and you getting signed to Offshore. How did this happen? How did this come about? How did this sorcery come about?
Let's go, fanboy. Let's go, Benson. Go, Benson.
Was this all Benson's master plan?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
Pretty much use the cock for Eraserheads.
Well, because I'm a fan. Well, I'm not. Sir Ellie knows this naman. I have no shame anymore in admitting that I'm a big fan of his band and his writing. And I mean, I'm wearing my circus shirt right
There you
now.
go.
Um, I really I remember the moment na I considered um a home for us because I knew that our music wasn't it's not gonna be picked up by the usual label. I think because well we say a lot of things that people may or may not like, and people may or may not like how we sound. So I remember I went to an offshore gig, and then I saw everyone play, and I was like, man, I think you know, maybe we could be a part of this. So I've been pitching it to the guys ever since, and then tangentially we recorded a demo tape of 5 songs, Hi, X, Dismember, and 2 other songs coming soon. Stay
Secret.
tuned. And I don't know, we sent it out, and thankfully, uh, Offshore liked our music. You want to talk about that moment when, because you got the ano for
Yeah.
that.
So Benson and I were subscribed to the Offshore newsletter. So every day, like you would get a notification from Offshore, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, this is it!" And it's just like new merch for sale. So like it just the day we got the email, I just cleared my notifications and I was like, "Wait, what? Did that say Offshore?" Like on an email? And then I checked it and I messaged him. I was like, Benson, 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 you have to check our email. And we were just like so stoked. You were like,
Yeah. We went to work writing on a reply immediately, but we didn't reply immediately because we thought we didn't want them to know that we were too eager. But
You wanted to play it cool. See,
You waited
yeah,
for a day, di
Si
ba?
Benson talaga. Si Benson talaga. I'll think about it. May pagkaganon si Benson.
so yun. And then
It's
they
something
wanted to
it's really something special when one of your idols, and I think he's practically the best songwriter in our generation, in any generation actually. Eddie Buendia's songs are amazing, and the Eraserhead songs are amazing, and that must have felt like some form of validation when you got that email that he
oh
likes your
yeah,
songs.
oh yeah,
for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you freak out?
I'm sure
Well,
Ben.
not Benson, because Benson said I'll think about it. But what about you, Diego? What about you, Gwen? Did you guys freak out?
I was
I
like,
mean,
what?
yeah.
Offshore message? Like, I didn't expect that. Because honestly, I know na that day, if it weren't for Benson, like, kami ni Gwen, we'd just be like, nah, I don't think it's like something we do. We just be like
Mm,
making music and stuff like that. But actually, Benson was our driving force to bring us to
get
Offshore. And we
signed.
were just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? We were like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, G. Why not?
Okay, yeah, and yeah, I have a lot of faith in the. I mean, I have a lot of faith in her music and the guys.
Yeah.
I love the guys, and I of course I think to go to I think to be a musician or an artist in general, you really need to love what you do and believe in what you do. You can't be like a baby musician. Na, oh, I think my songs are okay. I think you really need to think and believe in what you're making. Eh.
Well,
So
I think
of
I
course, it
think
was
you're
very validating.
you should be the first person to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourselves, nobody else
Yeah.
will,
For
Yeah.
sure.
right?
So when someone else did, and someone we looked up to, I mean, it was
Hmm.
pretty nice. It was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
You gotta love
So
what you do.
Dismember Avenue, how did that song come about, guys?
Mm,
Dismember.
I was well, it's a little bit inspired by Bohemian Rhapsody, but not as much. But it's just that the structure. I wanted the song with a structure that was like medyo all over the place, that had a lot of sections. I wanted a lot of sections. I wanted that glorious horn section with the sort of choir vocals in the end. I just wanted something that was epic, epic that
Mm.
on a scale that like our other songs weren't. And so yeah, that's how this member came about.
So from a concept, guys, I want to write an epic song,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
and you did,
Pretty much.
and you did. Lo
Mission
and
accomplished.
behold, you did. That's fantastic. I can't wait to hear more of your music. I can't wait to hear. You mentioned you have 2 more songs coming up, so that's fantastic. That's great news for me. I'm excited. Okay, so you guys. Before we bring in our next guest, I wanted to give you guys your version of the rundown. 10 quick questions. All right, 10 quick questions for you guys, but
Oh no.
you only get one, or only one of you get to answer each time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll start with Jago, then we'll go with Benson, then we'll go with Gwen. Okay,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
but you can only answer one question. We can't have 3 answers to one question.
Okay.
You have to
Okay.
choose. Okay, so we're going to build a playlist. All right, or think of it as a set list. All right, if you were forced to cover songs in a gig, right, and each member had to choose one song, and we'll start with Jago. You had to start out your set with a seduction song. What would that seduction song be?
My seduction song would be "Ang Ganda Mo" by QC. Ang ganda. I mean, "Ang Ganda Mo" by QC, but Suspiriafied, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely you have to play this as Suspiria Pink. So basically, imagine if you were in a gig and Diego called out this song and you guys had to play it. All right. Okay. So, okay, let's go to Benson. The second song in the set list is yours, but it's a legal song. Seduction and
At
legal are two different things, huh? So,
Ligaw.
what's your legal song, Benson?
Ooh. Well, syempre of the top of my head, um, the first thing that came to mind was Ligaya.
Ah.
But I don't think that's very Suspiriafiable. So I'll go with ano.
Oh, but that's a
Uh,
good. That no, no, that's it. That's too late. You already gave the answer.
okay.
So you have to. Okay, so you guys have to imagine a Suspiria Pink version of Ligaya. I
Mhm.
would love to hear that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm
going to
down.
Gwen. Gwen, you're
Mhm.
responsible for the third song. Okay. Breakup song.
Oh,
Breakup song. Ano, Seek and Destroy, Metallica.
Wow. Wow. When you break up with a girl, you mean business, pare. Break up. Wow. Seek and destroy. Hardcore, pare. Oh, okay. So, balik tayo kay Diego. Diego, okay? Next song. You have to play an afterglow song.
Afterglow.
Afterglow meaning post sex.
Hmm.
What would that song be?
Hmm. What would I play? Wait. Oh, yeah, mind block. Um. Oh. Um. Oh man, I'm so mind blocked right now. I would play high.
You would play high. Well, that's true. If it's good sex, then definitely that's a good song.
Let's
Baka
make it.
mag-round 2 pa kayo. Baka mag-round 2, di ba? Okay, Benson. Next song. All right? Shower song.
shower.
What do you what would Suspiria Pink play in the shower?
Tang ina. I will. Ako, ano, uh, kasi I have a go-to shower song and I think we can do it justice. Ano, Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yun! Okay. By Suspiria Pink. Game, para. Game. Okay yan. Okay yan. Okay. Oh, next song. Gwen.
Uh-huh.
Road trip song. Road trip.
Road trip song.
Uh,
Um,
Uy, may nag-comment. May nag-comment. Shower alone or with a friend? Nako.
Oh, Benson. Ako.
Benson. Road trip
Total,
song.
total, total eclipse of the heart pa rin. Whether alone or with a friend.
Oh, do it yun kung ganun.
Oh, Benson. Road trip song.
It's Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World.
Ah. Okay. Just so you can headbang. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Diego. You're in charge of the next song. Okay. Best
Okay.
inspirational song.
Inspirational.
Mm.
Damn. Wait, inspirational. What inspires me, really?
Naging existential crisis.
Actually,
Oo, di ba?
what is
Parang,
What is
inspires?
life?
What is life? What is this song? Actually, I don't know. Oh wait. Actually, I may have to mention an E-head song because it's one of my favorites, like my number one favorite E-head song. It's called Minsan. It's my
ah,
favorite E-head song. It inspires me
okay.
parang that when Ellie goes when Ellie goes when he goes and then I'm just like, damn, I have to write a song. Yeah, yeah. That's it made me do that one time.
Yeah, but once again, you're gonna have to imagine Minsan, but done by Suspiria Pink. So
Exactly.
ibang areglo yon, ibang areglo yon, di ba? Okay, Benson, let's go to Benson. All right. Best thinking song.
Thinking. As in like math problem thinking, gano'n.
No, wow, no, no. We're musicians. We don't like math, pare. Thinking, okay, thinking deep thoughts song.
Deep thoughts. Man, this is a tough one. Um, deep
Deep
thoughts.
thoughts. Resorts World Manila.
Deep thoughts.
Deep
I,
thoughts.
I'm blank. Can I pass this to Gwen and then I'll take Gwen's next one? Pwede ba yun?
Oh,
I'm
Gwen, deep
blank eh.
thought. He's
Deep
passing.
thought.
He's passing the set list to you.
This is such a hard one. Deep
Wait,
thoughts.
pasahan na lang tayo.
Okay,
ano,
so deep thoughts or profound song. Yung
Profound
profound song.
song.
Yeah, you guys are from Ateneo. You should be used to this.
Anima
Profound song.
Christi.
Jamie.
Hindi, for real. Anima Christi.
Ano mo?
Anima Christi.
Go.
Wow.
What
Oh, okay. So
to
Benson, since you skipped, best drinking song.
drinking.
Mm.
Siyempre, ano, di ba? As a
Vincent doesn't drink.
Filipino, beer.
Beer. Yun. Okay.
Di ba? I mean, what else?
Beer via Suspiria Pink. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Beer.
last song. Oh, a Suspiria Pink version of a song you would sing in mass.
Ay,
What would it be?
Ano yung,
Pop, pop punk version of what song in mass?
ano yung laging kinakanta pag mass? Yung ano? Yung, the one where everyone sing, like, after, like, they have communion. In Ateneo.
ama namin.
Which one?
Hindi.
No, not ama namin.
Ama na.
No.
I'm not
That's
Is
not
it obvious
after
that we don't
communion.
go to, is it obvious that we don't go to church?
Kinda. If you could sing a prayer, what would it be? Ano, kahit na anong denomination. If you could sing a prayer, what would it be?
Prayer. But not Aman.
Prayer of generosity.
No, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Bon
But
Jovi's
what do you
living
think? Suspiria? What do you think Suspiria Pink could actually perform?
Yung kay Bon Jovi po.
Live
Bon
in a
Jovi's
prayer.
Living on a prayer.
I would think po,
Whatever
ano,
po.
I'll think po, Highway to Hell by ADC. Sorry.
Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
And that's how you would close your set. Di ba? Highway to Hell or Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Okay. Via Suspiria Pink.
Marilyn Manson.
Okay, guys, I love you guys, and I can't wait to hear your new songs. But trust me, I'm going to be playing all three singles that are available to me right now. If you can send me that SoundCloud link, I wanna listen to your drunk EP
Oh man.
and see
Oh man.
how that happens. But I think he's backstage right now. He's waiting to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, our featured guest for tonight is a not only a fantastic musician, he's extremely talented. I have the pleasure and the honor of calling him a good friend of mine, but I am also one of the first people to be so amazed at his talent. He's known as the king of acoustic pop, all right, but he's also a fantastic musical theater actor and one hell of a handsome guy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Nyoy Volante.
Hi. Thank you for the great intro.
Para this episode is called The Good, the Bad, and the Handsome.
Oh, yun. Very good. Very
So
good.
I think we have decided. I think I can actually say that these kids, these three kids from Suspiria Pink, are the good. I'm the bad, and only you can be the handsome.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Nyoy, how are you doing, man? How is the pandemic treating you?
You know what? Syempre, lots of things talaga to be sad about because of, the lockdown, the pandemic, and all this shit talaga that's been happening. But one good thing, though, is I had time. I had lots of time to revisit some of my passions. One is carpentry. I was able to, to revisit that. And after what 6-7 years of not being able to record any of the songs that I wrote, I was able to. I was able to release at least two. Itong lockdown. I've released some songs written by friends of mine, but
Yeah.
hindi pa ako nakaka-release ng kanta ko, ng sarili kong kanta for yun nga, for mga around 6 7 years. So I have that to be thankful for. Um, I was able to somehow break the curse. Kasi every year, when I started doing television work, yun yung mga ganon, teleserye, judging, ano. It was a good compromise. Medyo natigil yung pagiging musician ko. I was a television personality. Pero, yun nga, medyo na-miss ko. Medyo na-miss ko talaga, like making music, being a songwriter, a musician. Tapos every year, after mga 3 4 years, sabi ko, this year, I'll record some songs. And then hindi nangyayari. Fifth year, sixth year. 2020, as bad as this year has been, it's definitely given me some good stuff, which is yun nga, one, time, and second, I was able to spend time with my family. Most of the time kasi um, lalo na pre-COVID, I was very busy, and alam mo naman, I live in Parañaque. Most of the things na ginagawa ko either sa North, ABS-CBN, or mga events. So, by the time na nandito na ako sa bahay, they're all asleep.
Yeah.
Everyone's parang done for the day. Ngayon, I mean, we do something like this. After this, I close my laptop, and I'm here. I'm already here.
Yeah.
In fact, before doing this, the interview, I was with Sophie. I was tutoring her with something. And hindi ako natatakot na, baka malito ako or something. Kasi it's just like
Oh,
next door.
yeah. Switch rooms lang. Switch rooms lang. Switch laptop,
Exactly.
and you're there. But wait,
Exactly.
Nyoy, I'm worried. What were you tutoring Sophie with? Please don't say math.
Let's keep that confidential para hindi ako magkaroon ng weakness in front of these people.
Well, these people, these three guys, so they've prepared questions for you.
Wow.
All right. And I'm really excited because, even if you guys are from completely different genres and you guys are from completely different worlds, I think music has the power to bring us together. And everybody who goes into not just music, but the arts, whether it be theater, dancing, the visual arts, or like in this case, music, I think it has the power to bring us together. It has the
Yeah.
power to cross boundaries. It has the power to put people together. So these three guys have prepared a question for you. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, binigay namin ng assignment. Binigay namin ng assignment. All right. So okay. So Diego's
Rock and
there,
roll.
like giving the rock and roll sign. Okay, Diego, let's
roll,
start with your
swirl.
question. Let's start with your question.
Nabawak tuloy ako. Well, Sir Nyoy,
Yes.
I just wanna ask, like, parang I've watched you before quite a number of times. Parang I watched you during Jersey Boys with my dad, and
Wow.
it was like
Oh my God.
you really good performance nga pala there, sir.
Thank you.
But more than that, parang with all your performances in, like, yung mga plays mo and being a pop artist, like, what is your take, or what do you think of the music now? What do you think of, like, how do you feel about the music now? For you, how do you feel about it? Does it
Hmm.
feel like, does it sound the same? Does it sound different? Does it sound like improving or something like that? What, compared to what you usually do, compared to what you usually
Uh, well, I don't have a problem with music now per se. Kasi lahat naman ng generations may version yan. Lahat ng ilang generations merong in fact, I think I said this before in an interview. Lahat ng generations sasabihin nila yung generation nila has the best music. It's automatic yan eh. Automatic yan. That's your loyalty to your to your era. So with the music, wala akong problema. Music will always be music, however it's interpreted. I just have a problem with some of the musicians, and I'm not just kumbaga hindi lang ito yung dito sa generation to. Every generation has this where um, they claim to be musicians but they don't work hard on it. Kasi one example kunyari ngayon sa generation ngayon, kunyari there's this maraming mga nire-revive na songs ngayon, di ba? Yung parang ginagawang sample of a certain song. And then they change it into this parang lo-fi version. Which is, I mean, some of them are good. A lot of them are actually good. And then, as musicians, we understand what chords are. We understand how chords are supposed to, kung paano sila magkakabit-kabit, what complements a chord before it and after it. Some of those kasi hindi. They don't, isasabay nila yung chord and then, Tapos yung excuse is, hindi kasi yan na yung tunog ngayon. No, it's not. I've heard the music of this generation na magagandang mga kanta, magagandang mga music. And that is not it. You know what I mean? And I have no problem with them turning it into something like that. Just do it properly. Wag mong just don't wag mong gawing mali and then claim na ito na kasi yun, ito na yung bagong tunog na yan. Because it's not. The rightness of a song, the rightness of a note, of a chord, will be true kahit anong generation pa yan. So pag mali yan. It's not, di mo pwede sabing 1 plus 1 is blue. Alam mo yun, di ba? Parang, so, yung 1 plus 1, kahit anong generation pa yan, magiging tama yan. Not 2. Kasi yun talaga yung tama. Kahit anong taon ka pa pinanganak, di ba? So, yun lang naman yung akin. But just like everything else in the world, sa buhay natin, it's not about sometimes we have a problem with art, with the government, with mathematics, and yung pinag-aawayan natin lahat, that's not the problem. The problem is dun sa taong nag-execute nun. So same with music. Ulit lang. Pero yun nga, I don't have a problem with the music of today. Just some of the musicians claiming that they are, but they're not working hard.
I think Nyoy and Suspiria Pink. I think if you guys ever had a collaboration, which I personally would love to experience, I think we found the title of the song. 1 plus 1 is blue. I I think that's the title of your song. But yeah, I agree with you, Nyoy. I mean, there should be a better reason bakit nyo binabala yung music or bakit nyo sinusundan yung mga chord. There has to be a better reason than just, ganyan yung sound ngayon eh. There has to be either a reason because you're writing it that way, an emotional reason. For me, I always look for the emotional reason rather than, ganyan yung tunog natin ngayon eh. And I think that would be that kind of answer. I think would be a cop out because basically you're surrendering to your to the trends instead of being true to yourself.
Yeah. Ang sarap lang kasi sabihin na na parang pag sinabi na hindi yan na yung tunog ngayon and then I present them with these guys music. Ayan, ngayon tunog ngayon to. Bakit hindi ganyan, di ba? Ba't hindi ganyan yung tunog? Bakit ito maganda? Bakit yan ganyan? Di ba? Parang ang dali namang ipaglaban eh, di ba? So yun lang. Sorry.
I think it's ironic na parang now for us, I think it's very easy to get the information to know how to make music. Unlike before, na you really have to seek it out and be like a student. Now for us, if you wanted to know theory or whatever, it's not hard to find information from it. So it's kind of a cop out to say na.
Yeah. You don't need to know the whole Bible of music, but at least know some theory, what's right and what's wrong. Basta, yun lang.
All right, so Benson, since you spoke up, you have a question.
Kasi Sir Nyoy,
Yes.
Earlier we talked about how we got thankfully got discovered by Offshore. So I'd like to ask na parang kasi nowadays for us it's very easy to get our music out there, and if you get backed by a label, it's not really it's not really the first step. It will help you.
Yes.
Pero I would say that during your time, really you needed a label to like get your music out there talaga in a
Mm.
meaningful way. So, when you were first starting out, how was the process of like finding someone who would support your music and whatnot?
Yeah. I think as much as I appreciate your question, I think I'm the wrong person to ask this because medyo unorthodox yung yung relationship ko with music. Eh. In the first place, I never really wanted to perform. I'm uh, I'm just not that person. That's why what I got sa college, yung kinuha kong course sa college is AB Technical Theater.
Mm.
Kasi I wanted to be backstage. Yun yung passion ko talaga. Uh, directing, production design, lights, sounds, basta anything. And yun talaga yung ano ko. I guess siguro, I don't know if you call it trauma, pero kasi as early as 5 years old, medyo kumakanta na talaga ako. I was a kid who knew how to sing. And you can imagine my parents like, making me sing everywhere. Kasi nga, syempre, di ba, anak mo kumakanta eh. So, uh, alam mo yun, every time may dadating na kamag-anak, kanta ka. Tapos, uh, yung magbubukas na grocery sa tabi nyo, magbubukas lang, papakantayin nyo ko to. Yun yung ano, di ba? So I guess I got turned off with the whole idea of performing. Simply, I mean, you can imagine a 5-year-old kid um, uh, being given a task instead of finding music as something na, uy, ang ganda nito. Hindi eh. Task siya sa akin. So, siguro doon nanggaling yung ano ko na para ayoko mag-perform, parang gano'n. That's why, ang dami kong natutunan gawin. Ano ako ng mga instrumento, nag-aaral ako mag-magic, nag-aaral ako kung ano-ano, para lang hindi ako mapunta in front. Which dinala ko in college, yun nga, I got technical theater, sa CSB, tapos and then I graduated. Paano ba to? Yeah, and then I was OJTing na for I think New Voice Company. So I was ako yung taga-buhat ng props, taga-walis ng stage, gano'n. And I was very happy. Parang tapos, alam mo yun, alam ko hindi pa yun yung dapat na pagkalagyan ko. But I was very happy because I was on my way to that. Kasi, di ba, that's how you start. You sweep the stage and then after that, you get assigned something bigger. So,
And then, guys, just a bit of trivia. I was there in New Voice Company, and Nyoy was one of my interns, and I was having him sweep the stage, and I've never seen anybody happier to sweep the stage. He was so happy sweeping the stage. But then something happened when you were sweeping the stage, Nyoy. I know this story.
Yeah.
I love this story. Go ahead.
I know. This is what started me with theater performances. I was sweeping the stage. Usually kasi I'm the first one there. Siyempre, kailangan di ba? Nag-OJT ka, pakitang gilas ka. So, even before dumating pa lahat ng tao, yung ka na, walis ka na doon. And I was singing. While I was sweeping the stage. I didn't know. Monique pala was somewhere in the second kasi for I Am a Woman, di ba? Parang
may parang lights room nasa taas.
Di ba meron nasa taas and narinig pala niya ako. And then after that, sabi niya, kumakanta ka pala. And then she included me in kasi before meron siya yung sa mall, nagpe-perform sila ng mga children's theater. So sinama niya ako doon. So I was performing and being technical at the same time, and then yun nga, ayan na, parang nabigyan na ako ng chance, pinaghawak na ako ng lights board, ganon, and sounds for Save the Human yata yun, I think. Anyway, so I was very happy, and then one day I took a girl in an Italian restaurant. Um, tapos, may piano. So, pasikat naman ako. Di ba? Kasi, syempre, tugtog ka doon, kanta ka doon. Andun pala si, si Benny Saturno. He is a very popular hit maker. And sorry, medyo mahaba ito kwento na to. But, he gave me his card. Sabi niya, I think you have something. Baka you wanna do some stuff with me. So, I had the card. And I was just, wow, Benny Saturno. Alam ko yun kasi kinakanta ko yung mga kanta niya, di ba? But that was enough for me eh. Wala akong planong gawin kung ano man yung opportunity na magbigay sa akin because of that. Kumbaga, itong nangyari na to, pwede ko nang ipagmalaki sa mga apo-apo ko na parang alam mo, dati may lumapit sa akin na sikat na songwriter. Kumbaga, enough na sa akin yun. That was more than na pwede ko nang dalhin sa pagtanda ko, yung kwento na may lumapit sa akin. And that's, alam mo yan, for most of us, di ba? Yung mga opportunity na ganun, once in a lifetime yun eh. And your talent gets recognized, okay na yun. So, well, needless to say, 3 months after, wala talaga akong 3 months, wala akong ginawa. I didn't call, because masaya na ako with what happened. And then, yun nga, 3 months after, I saw this parang Sharon Cuneta show. I'm not sure, basta it was a talk show. And then they were interviewing mga singers and actors who can't make it. Yung ang tagal-tagal nila sa industriya, bata pa lang sila, tapos matanda na sila, tapos wala pa nangyayari sa mga career nila. And then, syempre, nakonsensya naman ako, di ba? Parang itong mga tao na to, pinakita how sila naghihirap, how they work so hard just to get there. And then, ikaw, nabigyan ka na ganito opportunity, yabang-yabang mo, hindi mo man lang tatawagan. Parang, alam mo yan, parang, so, medyo nakonsensya naman ako, di ba? Parang, okay, fine. Tapos pagbukas ko pa ng kinagabihan, nung pagbukas ko ng drawer, lumabas yung card. Parang yung card, nakita ko siya. Ay ko, parang may sinasabi siya. Parang gano'n. Sige, fine. Gano'n. I called him. Fortunately, he was still waiting for my call. And then, yun nga, we did some stuff. I sang in a couple of mga soundtracks for movies. Ganon. And then eventually, I think it's time gawa na tayo ng album. So gumawa kami ng album. Wala talaga sa puso ko to be there, but I gave it a shot. Sabi ko, sige. Total, andito na ako eh. So, my first career was, alam ko, ano yun eh, parang kapanahunan yun nila Ricky Martin, alam mo yun, yung nakasando, tapos naka-leather pants na masikip, alam mo yun. So yun yung unang yun yung unang karir ko. Ganun ka dun sa stage. Tapos, the songs were great. The opportunity was great. But siguro, mga panahon na yon, and maybe because I'm just not meant for that kind of music, walang nangyari. Needless to say, it tanked. My career tanked, which made me very happy. Kumbaga parang pwede ko parang, Lord, nakita mo, sinubukan ko talaga, di ba? I mean, I really tried. Binigay ko lahat, nag-perform ako doon. Kahit labag sa kalooban ko, kumbaga, binigyan ko talaga ng chance. And siguro ito na yung sinasabi mo na wala, kumbaga, hindi ka talaga para dito. And I was so happy because ito yung confirmation eh. Ito yung parang like it confirmed na hindi ako para dito sa industriya na ito. So yun, tumuloy-tuloy na ako. I went with Gantimpala and yun nga. And then for school, I started directing small plays and I was so happy. And then while doing that, nauso yung mga acoustic because Paulo Santos, Jimmy Bondok, naglabasan, MYMP. Yeah. Tapos na usong-uso pa nun si John Mayer and
Yes.
si Jason Mraz na guitar-based, di ba? So, hindi ko alam bakit biglang just because they're guitar-based, naging acoustic yung trend. But it did. And since musician naman ako, nagigig-gig din ako, but as a hobby. I want to make that clear. I knew that my playing and my singing sa mga bars, mga small bars na it was just a hobby of mine. Simply because may kulo pa rin ako as a musician. I still wanted to do that, but parang okay lang siya. Basta ito yung first career ko, technicals. And then I started being visited by mga celebrities. Nung una nga, akala ko, sabi ko, ang sikat naman itong bar na to kasi pinupuntahan ng mga Alvin Patrimonio, nila, ang dami pa ang dami sila. Basta, anyway, nagpupunta sila doon, sabi ko, ang sikat naman ng bar kasi puro celebrities. And then, napansin ko lang, pag lumilipat ako ng bar, yung mga celebrities na yun, doon din sila nanonood. Kasi parang there's something here. But alam mo yan, since wala din yung puso ko, okay lang siya. And then eventually, record labels started coming to the show. And then talking to me, baka you wanna start doing albums with us. And then, iba na to. And then, tanggap lang ako ng tanggap. Kasi, umaga, happy siya. Hindi ko alam na it's paving its way to me being an actual artist. Pero, alam mo yan, third album ko na, hindi ko patanggap na ito yung ginagawa ko eh. Parang dumadaan lang siya, hindi ko na lang napapansin. And then eventually, parang yun yan, parang, totoo na pala to. Ganun, parang ito na pala yung and then yun yeah, the rest is history. I started loving what I do, started accepting na ito na pala yung gagawin ko. So, with that long story, I answer your question na yun nga, I might not be the person to ask kasi nga, I never really knew the process. Kasi I honestly think I don't deserve to be here. sa totoo lang, I don't think I deserve to be here simply because I didn't even love it before. I didn't even want it. But for some reason, God likes handsome people. Talagang nagkataon lang na it just worked for me despite me pushing it away. So yun nga,
Well, I think there was a plan for you, even if you weren't listening, even if you were fighting it, even if you did not call Venny Saturno for 3 months. My God, that's Venny Saturno. Okay,
I know.
That, for 3 months. Thank God you bumped into that television show where people were being interviewed. So at least you gave it a chance. And for somebody who has been fighting it tooth and nail, I personally thank God that eventually you gave in because you are such a fantastic performer. You are such a fantastic songwriter. And I think what gives you that magic, Nyoy, is that every time you come in, and I've worked with Nyoy in several productions, in several plays. And if you guys ever saw us backstage, especially when we did Rock of Ages and stuff, it would be like a concert. You would have Isa and Nyoy break out their acoustic guitar, and we're being treated to a concert right there. And I think what gives you that magic is that you feel like you don't deserve to be here. So you work your ass off each and every time to prove that you should be here because you've been fighting it for so long. And I thank God that you're here because like I can't imagine you backstage lang nyo. Siguro ang gulo mo. Magulo ka na nga on stage eh. But at least on stage, your gulo is being harnessed to a positive outcome. Kung backstage ka lang, siguro ang gulo mo.
Ma'am, alam din nila talaga gagawin.
Okay, so let's go. That was a really good question, Benson. But then I think that gives us a little wisdom in terms of like really pursuing what you want to pursue. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, even no matter how much you fight it, it still happens. So I think the universe will lead you onto the path you're meant to be in, even if Nyoy was fighting it for most of his life. It'll still happen. So big breaks will happen whether you want them to or not. In the case, like in the case of Nyoy, right? Let's go to Gwen for a question from Gwen.
Mhm. Okay, so my question was it's simple lang. What do you think has contributed to your longevity as a performer and as a singer? What do you think is like the key factor, the key moments that has enabled you to continue having such a long and fruitful career?
I can
Uh,
answer that. I can answer that for Nyoy. He's
well,
handsome. He's
yes, I know.
handsome. Let's go.
I know. But and as much as I don't want to add anymore, kasi yun na yun eh. Yun na yun. Uh, uh, I'd like to add na I just make sure, and so it doesn't always work, huh? Sometimes even if you try your hardest, um, there are there's just no pleasing everyone, no. But with the best of my effort, talaga, um, and this is after I learned na di para dito na talaga ako sa industry na to, na I want to perform na, I just make sure that each and every time I work, I make sure that the people that I work with, um, I show them that I'm someone na gusto pa nilang makatrabaho in the future. So it's worked very well for me in theater, in film, sa television, sa music. But like I said, minsan meron pa rin, may lumalabas pa rin na may nakakaimkwento ka pa rin. But you try to be there on time. Um, you always make sure na you're not stepping on anyone's toes. Um, there are so many definitions of being a diva. Just don't be any of those.
Mhm.
Um,
Benson,
and
don't be a diva. Okay.
You'll think about it.
Think about it. Think about it.
yeah. But bottom line is you just always respect people. Sometimes whether uh, they're someone that's important or not, um, chances are they pwede sila maging tool for something. Um, and true enough, just because you don't say no to opportunities. Isa pa yon. Kung hindi man lang talaga na makakatapa ka ng ibang tao, or that kumbaga hindi talaga makakababa sa pagkatao mo. If there's something that's offered to you, take it. Because whether you think it's important now or not, you don't know eh. You don't know. Ang dami kong pagkakataon where nothings have been offered to me, and I took it, and naging door yon for such big things in my career. So just because of mga ganong klaseng uh, experiences, talagang isinapuso ko talaga na huwag kang magmamaliit ng opportunity, because hindi mo alam kung sa kadagalingan. I think, well, kwento ko na lang, may, In Your Face sounds familiar, where we, kami ng, So, medyo, before that, yung career ko, medyo pag na eh. Hindi na uso yung acoustic, tapos, nagbabalikan na yung mga banda, and alam mo yun, basta medyo na lang, kumbaga, hindi na ako masyadong established as a recording artist. And then they asked me to Nyoy, are you available? Can you kasi when they propose a show sa ABS-CBN, kumbaga gumagawa sila ng mock of that show. Pupunta sila sa isang kwarto, dadali nila yung mga big boss, manonood doon, and then sasabihin nila, ito po yung show natin, this is an example of what we're gonna do. So they wanted to make me an example of someone who is an artist and then magpapalit, magiging babae, and then magiging Tina Turner. Um, Siyempre, ngayon alam na natin what Your Face Sounds Familiar is about. But before that, syempre, wala nakakaalam, including me. And it's ba't nyo naman ako paggaganunin, di ba? Parang ganun na ba kababa yung value ko dito sa industriya na, diba? Pero sabi ko, you know what? Let's swallow our pride, Nyoy. Magpakatatag ka. Gawin mong opportunity ito to show them what you can do, kahit na hindi ito yung tamang venue. And, you know, your connections with these people, it will prove helpful in the future. So I did. Tina Turner ako in front of the bosses in a really small room. And then natapos na yon, they thanked me. Nyoy, thank you for helping us out to pitch the show. A few days after, they called me. Sabi nila, Nyoy, we just want to tell you na na-approve na yung show. And sabi nila, gusto namin yung show, gawin na yan, ilagay na yan sa ABS. And then, we also like Nyoy. So, isama nyo na siya dun sa roster of contestants. And then that's where it started. Parang, wow, I was the first contestant of Your Face Sounds Familiar.
Yeah.
And then, after that, it turned out to be, a big show, a really big segment of ABS-CBN. And yun nga, because of that, I was gotten as a judge sa Tawag ng Tanghalan, and then kinuha ko sa teleserye, and all because of that decision, which I didn't even want at that time. So, you know, if this tells us anything, it's just wag mong maliitin yung opportunity just because you don't understand it. Dahil, alam mo yun, hindi naman nakababa sa pagkatao mo, wala ka namang natapakan, wala ka namang gagawin, edi gawin mo na, di ba? Parang, kasi hindi mo alam ito, I mean, true enough, it's paved way para sa akin, yung mga opportunities ko. So yun lang, I mean, and yun nga, again, just respect for everyone. Maliit na tao, bago, luma, matanda, bata, kahit ano pang trabaho niya, just always make sure that they feel that you respect them.
That's fantastic.
Beautiful.
See, guys. So basically, guys, especially Benson, if Offshore Music emails you, you answer na lang right away. Don't go and think about it.
No.
But I think Nyoy, that's beautiful because I mean, I think your career has gone from fighting these decisions early on and being happy that you're not getting anywhere to now you appreciate every little opportunity that you get because you exactly what Nyoy said, you don't know what it's going to lead to.
Mhm.
It's like saying yes to, why are we going to play, for example, back in my day, I don't know if you kids have heard of Mayrix, right?
Mhm.
Mayrix is legendary on
Mhm.
España for giving it's a small hole in the wall bar. Parang before Club Dread happened and all that, Mayrix was the place to be. And Mayrix is a small hole in the wall bar. And when we were asked to play a gig in Mayrix, I had never heard of Mayrix. And I'm like, why are we gonna play in such a hole in the wall bar? I want to play in this flashy bar in Makati and all that. But I'm like, no, okay, fine. Let's say yes to Mayrix because a gig is a gig, no matter what. And really, when you realize the history of Mayrix, all the Pinoy rock greats played and started in Mayrix. And it may not be something you may know, but that led me to friendships with people like Jun Lupito that I recorded albums with, friendships to Pepe Smith, just because of that one decision to like, okay, let's play in Mayrix. It's a hole in the wall, but it's a legendary hole in the wall. So make use of every opportunity. And like Nyoy said, respect everybody. Big, small, big time, small time, old or new. And, just I think the first bit of wisdom that came out of Nyoy's mouth is come on time. And
Mhm.
that's so important because yes, Diego. Come on time. Because that shows that already immediately shows your respect not only for the people that you're working with, but also for the project that you're doing, the craft that you're doing, whether it be band rehearsal or recording or a gig or showing up for, barcadas are going to meet. Show up on time already, like, denotes respect. Immediately you're giving the respect that this schedule will demand of you.
And
So
respect
yeah, those
aside,
are
sorry,
mm,
and respect aside, it
good.
just makes good sense. You're there, you
Yes.
don't miss anything. If there are opportunities, you're the first one there, di
Mhm.
ba? If kailangang may mauna sa'yo or gano'n, gano'n. If you're the first one there, you're the first one to leave.
Mhm.
Diba? So, it just makes good sense. I mean, aside from it being respectful.
Yeah. All right. So okay, Suspiria Pink, thank you so much. And
Thank
hey
you.
man,
Thank you,
looking
guys.
forward to your new music. And guys, please keep on streaming their songs. That's X and X's High and Dismember Blues. And I can't wait for more music to come. Thank you so much, Suspiria Pink, and we're gonna hang out later. All right. So
Sir.
stick around backstage. Yes. Anong sir? Sinong sir? Anong sir?
Sir.
Bakit mo ako
Thank you,
sir?
Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Jago. Thank you,
Thank
Benson.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gwen.
See ya.
Thank you. See ya.
Di ba, Nyoy? I think
Yeah,
rock and roll is in good hands
yeah,
nowadays with these
I
kids.
know.
And it's always nice. I really appreciate that, like, well, I can't say really. I would not like to say old timers like us, but people who have been doing it longer have an opportunity to share their bit of wisdom and even songwriting processes, or perhaps how to get ahead in this industry, because
Mhm.
you've gone from very humble beginnings to of sweeping the stage to, you're hailed as the king of acoustic pop.
I don't know how that happened, but okay.
I know. I don't know how it happened either, but then hey, you know what, it's like you said, it's an opportunity, so you can take it. But I'm very curious because you've been fighting, you were fighting early on your entry into performing, diba?
Mhm.
And you've been singing since you were 5 years old. What was that moment, if you can remember? What was that? Do you remember the moment that you first discovered your music?
Uh, my music, the music that I do now.
Yeah, the music that you do now. That moment where you said, "Hey, parang yung accepting, yung the moment that you accepted." 'Di ba sabi mo kanina, yung 3 albums na hindi ko pa natatanggap eh.
Okay,
But what was that moment when you said, "Okay, this is me and I'm going to continue doing this?"
okay. Well, one, uh, alam ko that I was very comfortable with the kind of music that I was doing when I was doing it as a hobby. Remember, sabi ko nga,
Yeah.
diba? After my
Oo,
failed
nagigig
career,
ka. Oo.
diba? After my failed career, I focused on like OJTing na and directing mga small plays. But I was doing music on the side. And
Yeah.
since that wasn't a distraction anymore, since that was parang hobby-hobby na lang, I was very comfortable with it. Because I didn't have to do "Be My Lady." Alam mo yan? I was just there, comfortable with playing my guitar,
Yeah.
um, being really smooth with how I was singing. Um, so, yun, but hindi pa yun doon. And then,
Mm.
after yung sinabi ko sa'yo na after the 3 years, 3 or 4 years na hindi ko patanggap na I was in the music industry. When I finally accepted na, okay, I think I wanna be I wanna be a singer now. Doon na talaga lumabas na, okay, this is how I sing. So the way that I sing right now is that. Yun yung simula nun. And then it's been like this ever since.
Well, the beauty of this is that, the way you sing right now and the way you sing back then. I've seen you in several amazing roles, and I've worked with you on several amazing roles in several amazing musicals. And you have been able to change the way you sing to the point where it's almost, I mean, like, even I have seen you take on roles where we're at the first day of rehearsal and I'm like, how the hell is Nyoy going to do this? And then you do it, and you do it amazingly. So
Thank you.
in your journey as the way you sing, before we touch on theater, right? How does the king of acoustic pop, okay, which yes, we don't know how that happened, but you had a very definite sound in King of Acoustic Pop to your two most recent singles.
Yeah.
Is it what a journey that is? I mean, when you released, and I gotta say this, Nyoy, when you released Awit Ko Na Naisulat Dahil Sa Kagandahan Mo during the pandemic,
Mm.
that has made it on my permanent proof of life playlist. My proof of life playlist is like songs that I want to listen to to feel alive, and that song is on it. Actually, both your songs are on it, but
Oh, that's good.
I want to focus on Awit Ko. How does the king of acoustic pop go into some really smooth? I mean, this song is smooth, pare.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How did that come about?
Okay, one, this is not a new song. I
Ah,
wrote this, like I said, diba, I kept promising myself na I'm gonna
I'm
record
gonna
a
record
song.
an album. I'm gonna record a song. Yeah, yeah.
So I was writing them. I wasn't performing any of these songs, but I was writing them. So years passed, and then came the opportunity to record these songs. These have been around for a while. Nasa baon lang. So yun nga, I think just the opportunity to record them because of the lockdown, yun yung naging daan. Tapos, since I was just so excited to finally be able to, interpret this in single form.
Mm,
Uh, um, and since wala akong, this is just more of a personal project for me. I
yeah.
don't have a label. I came from a really long sabbatical uh, of not recording and then performing my songs. Just the plain excitement. To, alam mo yun, pag may bago kang toy, you just
Mm-mm.
really want to make the most out of parang, so, ganun yung nangyari. Parang, ay, lagyan ko kaya nito. Or ganyan, ganyan. Parang, um, and that happened. Lalo na yung I Wanna Kiss You. I
Oh
just
my
played
god.
with
I know. I wanna kiss you. I mean, like I loved the song, and then when you released the video,
the video.
oh my god. That I mean, guys, you have to see. First of all, the song is fantastic. It's
Oh, thank
classic
you.
Nyoy Volante with all his charm, all his handsomeness. At talagang kahit na, I mean, bro, lalaki ako pare, pero I wanna kiss you too, you know?
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
but when you release the video, really, it's a testament on how creative you can be at home.
That's just you having more time talaga because you're stuck at home.
But you look like you were having so much fun. I mean, even until the video ends, when when Mickey's voice comes in, do you want to do
uh,
it again? No.
yeah.
But it just felt like so much fun, and it did feel like as compared to your previous releases, where you had even if you took a long sabbatical, your
Hmm.
previous releases felt so serious.
Hmm.
This
That's
was just pure fun.
yeah. Well, that's why one kasi in my mga live performances, uh, hindi ako masyado nakakapag-perform ng songs ko because I have Your Mayuna saan someday
Yes.
and that's it. Pero wala akong all my fast songs in the previous albums, hindi naman siya kilala or something. So I don't. So when I perform, kunyari a set, I do those four, and then puro covers, and then that's where I get my uh, fast songs.
Mm.
Doon ko siya kinukuha sa mga covers. So, one of my frustrations talaga is sana meron akong kanta na mabilis, that's fun. So, when I decided na, okay, during this pandemic, magre-record ako. So, I made sure talaga the first two that I did are fun ones. Just so that I have those. And then, I'm definitely going back to the Nyoy Volante, makapagbag damdaming songs. Definitely babalik ako doon. But I just had to make sure na when I did get back into singing my songs, ilagay siya sa Spotify. I had it had to be the fun ones kasi yun yung ang tagal ko nang wala eh.
Uh-uh. And
Yeah.
it really sounded like a breath of fresh air when you, as compared to your previous recordings, when you released these two songs. It I don't know. It felt like it had new musical life. I could really feel your giggle in the song, and I could really feel you. Not, I mean, they're playful songs, yeah, but even with the production of the songs, um the instruments that you added, the lines, they were all very, you were like a child at play, like you just said. You had a new toy, and of course we can all see your toys. I see Castle Grayskull
Yeah,
right there, but it really felt like you had a new toy and you were really getting the most out of it. And I hope for more songs like that from you, because these songs are fantastic.
thank you. Thank you.
And what a shame, I think. And I'd like to move into theater now, because I mean, I think you're just simply phenomenal on stage. I know sometimes when I'm your AD, I get down hard on you and I scold you sometimes, right? But I've always thought from the very first play we did, which is Rock of Ages, together, when we worked together the
Yes.
very first time.
That was the first
It,
one?
yeah, that was the first one. That was the
Okay.
first one we did, the very first, and of course it was so much fun. We did it two other times. We did it
Yeah.
three times. We had so much
Yeah,
fun.
3 times. Yeah.
But I think you're just simply phenomenal on stage. So what a
Thank
shame
you.
what a shame it would be if you were just, if you followed what you wanted in your life and just have just been backstage. What a
Yeah.
shame it would have been. And Rock of Ages was really fun because, I mean, like, man, not only was the play written as fun, but you had some really, really hard notes to hit
Oh.
in that in that song, in
Naubusan
that
ako ng
show.
boses.
Oh, in that show. How hard was it transitioning into doing that show?
Ah, I'm more
From
of
your
ano, uh,
from your usual repertoire, all of a
uh,
sudden you're singing, high enough, you're singing Sherry, you're
yeah.
singing, all this, diba? And that's insane. You went from acoustic pop to glam rock.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
how did you achieve that?
Ah, I'm more of a, this is what I have to do now, guy. Parang, okay. I mean, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, fortunately, at least may streak pa ako of being able to pull it off. But it's never a, ano, it was never a case of, okay, so parang kailangan ganituhin ko to so that, parang ganyan. It's like, with me, hindi ganon. Sa akin, parang, yan yung gagawin? Okay, fine. Pikit ka na. Tapos gawin mo na. Tapos, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you work on it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was never a surefire, talaga sa akin na alam ko na it's gonna work if I work hard on it. Right? It was never like that. Basta alam ko lang, this is what I have to do. And maybe you can find some sort of formula to sing a certain way. Tapos, and then, pagdating mo dun, kung may kailangan i-adjust mo. But, yeah, hindi talaga ako, I don't have that na parang, sige, what will I do so that I can transition from this to this? Wala eh. Parang, yeah. Because
I got
I'm not saying that's a good
I
thing.
gotta do this now. I gotta do this now.
This I have to do now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great, because I think your instincts parang you jump first and then you look eh. Parang ganon.
Yes, which isn't. It's not a good thing, by the way. To anyone who's looking to follow my footsteps, don't don't kasi wala talaga wala kayong nagwo-work lang siya, chumachamba, pero that's definitely not the way to do it.
Yeah, but but I think your instincts are so good, and your work ethic speaks for itself. I mean, you're one of the hardest working guys I've ever
Thank you.
worked with.
Same to
But
you.
your
Same to you.
but your instincts are so good that I think you sort of know what you have to do. You sort of understand the character, you understand the story, you understand the song, and then you jump. And sometimes you jump first and then you understand. Iba-iba naman yung proseso natin, di ba?
Which is
But I
what
wanna,
Bobby.
yes. Basta jump na lang then jump and then we'll tell you about the rest of the details. But sometimes, sometimes that's where I think, courage comes in. Like you said, sige, pikit ka na lang and then let's see what happens, diba? But I think there was one show where your instincts really, really kicked in. And I'm talking about Shrek the musical.
Oh my god.
Because really, I mean, I'm sorry, you're the perfect donkey. You were the
Oh,
perfect
thank
you
you.
were you were having so much fun until you put on the donkey suit. But then you were dying because
I was dying.
you
And
couldn't
everyone
breathe.
beside me was dying because that thing smelled, man.
Well, parang authentic, 'di ba? Parang method. You smelled like a donkey.
Exactly.
But that was such a brilliant role, a turn for you when you played Donkey in Shrek. And I think it was a combination of instincts and letting the real Nyoy Volante come out because
I like to think so.
you could be as kenkoy as you could, as kulit as you wanted to be and all that, but it was also a very technically difficult role. So your instincts were there, but basically you had to survive the role. And what did you do to be able to do that?
Uh, well, like you said, it was just a fun experience for me. So that really helped with the whole getting through it. Um, but definitely, there's ano. I mean, as much as I joke about it, it's definitely hard work pa din. Yun pa din yung ano. I mean, as much as yung sinasabi ko kanina na, "Oh, sige, this is what I have to do now, pikit na lang tayo, and then that's ano." But pagkatapos mo pumikit, and then you learn kung ano yung kailangan mong gawin, you work hard on it. And um, all jokes aside, ano, the only way talaga for you to be able to execute all these things is to like really, really, really set your heart into perfecting whatever it is that you have to work on. There were definitely roles that were harder than the others, um, but I found na kung if you just really, really, really focus and like research, alam mo yun, not just yung pupunta ka doon and then, sige, gawin na natin to, and then after that, papakawalan mo na. No, especially with theater talagang up until the time na last performance mo na, you still keep finding stuff. You learn pa din uh, along the way kahit na feeling, nag-show ka na, di ba? Nakaka-second weekend na tayo.
Mm.
May natututunan ka pa eh. May
Oo.
ano mo yun? May nadidiscover ka pa. Pwedeng ganitong gawin to or something like that. So, it's definitely still, more than anything, it's just the hard work talaga. That's
It's a
gonna
lot of
take
it's a
you
lot
there.
of hard work. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of perseverance, but also staying open to discovering new things. I think that's really important. And with I think the role that you work the hardest on, in my opinion, I was the assistant director for this, but I think it was fantastic the way not only you sang and danced in this role, but also the way you acted in this role was blew me away. And I'm talking about Jersey Boys.
Mm,
Jersey Boys was an incredible journey. From I mean, our director Bobby Garcia and I would talk right after rehearsals, and we would always talk about what new thing you were doing today, and it was obvious that you were trying something. Nyoy is the kind of actor that he wouldn't do the same things at rehearsals. He would always try something new. Once na nakuha niya yung isang part, ayan na. Maglalaro na yan, mag-a-add na yan. He will add more things or he will add a flourish and all that. And it just, it's really good for character development. And it also helped in Jersey Boys when you played Frankie Valli. It's the journey of Frankie Valli, right? But vocally, again, going from Rock of Ages where you're singing glam rock and you're going into Shrek where you're singing, donkey. You're like, Eddie Murphy on steroids, right? And then to go into Jersey Boys where it was a very definite sound. You had to play an actual person, an actual artist who is known for his sound. How did you prepare for that? Kasi ibang-iba yung vocals na ginawa mo sa Jersey Boys. How did you prepare for that, Noy?
Well, definitely a lot of research. Talagang research talaga all day long. Uh, Even after natin mag-rehearse, we just keep listening to him, Frankie Valli, and trying it out, failing, and then trying again. Ano eh, and then eventually, ano lang siya, parang, just like basketball, di ba? I mean, you just keep doing it over and over again until you know how to dribble the ball and shoot. Ganun din doon. Parang you won't get it the first time. Pero uh, by, basta kaka-practice mo lang,
Mm.
kaka-ulit-ulit mo lang, makuha mo din siya. Um, the thing with ano though, the Frankie Valli voice is medyo comfortable naman ako dun sa falsetto niya. Eh. I'm really comfortable with that kind of high note. What really killed me was the speaking.
Yeah.
The speaking was what talaga yun yung mahirap talaga sa akin.
Kasi iba yung placement ng speaking mo.
Doon ako
Tapos,
natawas eh.
oo. Kasi sanay ka sa placement ng vocals mo, sa singing, but it's really hard to place a speaking voice, especially when they can't be too different.
Yeah.
Diba? Dapat yung singing voice mo tsaka yung speaking voice mo medyo tunog Frankie
Yeah.
Valli. In
And
that sense.
diba, it's a very specific sound eh.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that Muppet like diba,
Oh.
sound. And I had to argue with that. You remember the big fight scene in
Yes.
in the table? I had to
Yes.
shout with that voice. Yun talaga, that really killed me more than the singing. The singing was kind of difficult, yes, but yung speaking talaga, yun yung pumatay talaga sa akin.
Tsaka yung sabay-sabay ng choreo nyo.
Yeah, well.
Yung very, very precise na choreo nyo na yung si Christian Bautista kumokopya pala ng choreo as we found out in rehearsals. But
Yeah.
it's amazing because even throughout, I think we were rehearsing for about a month and a half. That was longer than a usual Atlantis rehearsal period, I think.
Because it's a hard
And
show.
yeah, it's a very difficult show. There's so many moving parts. But I remember up to preview night, we didn't know if it was gonna work or not. I remember you being very nervous, and this is a cuento I want to share with you guys. Okay, so we never know if it's gonna work or not. Even though you believe in this, you've done all the hard work. Really, the test really is when you finally have the audience in. Because in theater, they're the final element that will complete your show is the audience, right? And I remember our Meralco preview. Our first Meralco preview, where the first time we had an audience in Meralco Theater was a full house. All the Meralco employees were there. And later on in the play, in Act 2, when Frankie Valli, wala na yung Four Seasons, Frankie Valli goes solo and he writes his big hit, which is Can't Take My Eyes Off You, diba? And I remember, so it was a very dramatic opening. We had these two doors opening to reveal Frankie Valli, which is played by Nyoy, and he starts walking in. And it's a very, very somber, like it's a very, very slow build up, diba? And then you hear the horns, pa-da-pa-pa-da-da-pa-da-pa-pa, and you had like 800 people in Meralco Theater start screaming. And then I saw I'm watching there in the wings, and you see Nyoy stop for a while, and he's not supposed to stop because the lights are following his walk. So he stops for a while, and I'm like, oh no, he stopped. Naiwan siya ng ilaw. So gumagalaw pa yung ilaw. Kasi nagulat siya. Tapos, if you looked at Nyoy's face, I was imagining these thoughts in your mind eh. Di pa ako kumakanta, sumisigaw na kayo. And that's when I knew, pare, we've got a show. Because, I mean, before that, Nyoy had been singing for what, an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
And just the intro of that song, just the moment of just Nyoy Volante as Frankie Valli walking onto the stage with that song, and the whole Meralco Theater, the full house, goes berserk. And he hadn't even started singing that iconic song yet. Sabi ko, okay tayo guys. We're good. Just
Mm.
don't stop, Nyoy, because naiwan ka ng ilaw eh. Yan lang yung note ko eh. Yan lang yung note ko eh. And then just when you think that, you're that had to be your most challenging role so far, all of a sudden, you get kinky boots.
Oh my God.
Oh my
The
god. And you
boots.
had to play a drag queen. And you had to shave your legs. And we had to
And
get you fitted. We had to make you, you know, we
my 6-inch heels.
you had to dance in 6-inch heels. And that alone, I mean, aside from the technicals of 6-inch heels and wearing bustiers and all that, right? At least, I mean, my experience ka na kasi nag-Tina Turner ka na. But this
Yes.
time, you had to play a drag queen in a theatrical show, and basically you had to carry the show for 2 hours. I mean, yung Tina Turner mo, one song, one song.
Mm.
This one, you had to live in this person's skin for 2 hours and make the story so how was the preparation for that?
Okay. One, I was really scared. I was really, really, really scared doing that because it can easily turn into a mockery.
Yes.
Alam mo yon.
Oo.
Pwede ka namang pumunta doon, magsuot ka ng heels, and then be flamboyant, and then that's it eh. If you're lazy about it, diba? If you're just lazy about portraying this character, pwedeng gano'n naman eh. Magbading-badingan ka na lang doon, and then um, be funny. But that's exactly why I was so scared because I didn't want it to turn out like that. Uh, ano eh, I felt responsible representing this community,
Yes.
and uh, this community that I had really close friends in. Um, ayoko silang biguin, ayoko silang ipahiya. I wanted to do it properly, but I didn't know how. Oh, it's not natural to me. As
Yeah.
as as maloko as I am, like doing all this mga uh, pag-girly-girly na actions. I mean, there's something to being gay that's just for that, di ba?
Yes.
If you're not gay, there's something that you don't get. There's something that
Yes.
you don't understand. And I didn't want to portray this with this yung pagkatao ko that I don't understand what it is. So I talked to a lot of drag queens, transgenders, even just gay people. I wanted to really take in any kind of information that they can know. But even with that, I was so terrified. I was so terrified na after I performed my first show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was really supported with you guys, and pati the G-Force, di ba? You saw how they were so supportive of what I
Yeah.
was doing. Um, even with that, I was so parang after my first show, I'd be I'd learn na I let them down. The
The community.
the community of ang laki nun eh. Hindi
Oo.
lang yun just because you're a drag queen, yun lang yun represent mo. It's a whole game of 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 this, mga iba't ibang sangay ng of that community, and ang takot ko talaga. But after the first show, um, some drag queens na di ba? May mga nanood na drag queens
Yeah.
sa atin, di ba? I don't know what show that was, but that was when basta during the first weekend they went sa akin, and then they congratulated me, and then they said na it was such sobrang proud daw yung gay community. And I was so relieved kasi more than performing properly and maging maganda yung perform. Of course, nandun na yun.
Oh,
Dance beautifully, sing nicely, alam mo yun, makapagpatawa ka ng tao. That's a part of the show, of the job that I have to do. Pero talaga, the biggest one that I was so concerned about was that. And when I got their approval, the seal of approval na parang, they they think that it's something that to be proud of, then yun na. After nun, medyo kumawala na yung ano ko. That's why it
mm,
just got better and better kasi I was so, I was so happy natanggap ako dun sa,
yes.
in this circle. And yeah, and
I
yeah,
think
the rest is history.
I would see you work so hard on that role, and it wasn't even the singing or the dancing, which was hard enough, in especially in those 60-inch heels. And from one song to another, you're changing into different boots. You know, I think what I saw you really working hard at is exactly what you said. You didn't want to be a caricature. You wanted to make this a real person, and the weight of and the pressure of representing um that culture, that slice of society, that that group, that community was so important to you to do right. And once nga, I remember when the drag queens hated me and loved me also because I played the contrabida in the
The
show,
Contravida, yes.
right? Again, I played the contrabida again. Pero at the end, natanggap din ako.
Yes.
I got included in the
I
bear club.
yeah. I think
Manila,
your role kasi was very important for that
for that
for
switch.
that switch.
Yeah, I represented the people who didn't like people like Lola, like your
Yeah.
role. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the show, I ended up accepting it. But I think that's what's so important. Eh. All your theatrical works, you give it as much effort, as much work, and as much importance to not be a caricature. Even if you are playing an animated donkey, you still made donkey real. I mean, ang hirap nun ah. Playing an actual person like Frankie Valli, you can do research, you can watch videos, you can see, you can take his nuances because that's a different kind of pressure. You're playing a real person. You're playing an animated character. And then you go from that into playing um, a representative of that community. And I think what unites all that, that's why I really enjoy your theater work, is that you give each one the importance it deserves and the hard work it deserves. That's why I think you're, you know, phenomenal. And thank
Thank
God
you.
you're not backstage. Thank God you're on stage because we need you on stage. What sayang yung brilliance mo, Nyoy. Now,
Thank
okay,
you.
so doing theater, and of course you're still doing music, right? How has your theater and your music world coexisted? Does one help the other?
Definitely.
In what way?
Uh, ang dami eh. Just by the alone the practices of how you do stuff in theater. I mean, not just in music, but
Hmm.
yung discipline that theater has instilled sa atin, it's definitely been applicable sa lahat ng aspects ng professional life ko. In television, music, yun, even in the movies. Nakatulong sa akin the way that we treat theater work. But also, just because in theater, one of my biggest jobs talaga is to sing. Of course, my singing career has helped me naman to do that. And, vice versa with the acting. Theater has helped me act in television, which, I know normally didn't do, but just because meron akong investment ng medyo matagal with theater, medyo doon na ako na-develop as an actor, nagamit ko yan when I eventually had to act in movies and television. So, give and take lang talaga from one area to another. I just get bits and pieces of kung ano yung ginagawa ko sa isang area ng buhay ko. And it kind of helps not thinking about it, you know. Uh, siguro, like I said, to anyone who's looking for the right path on how to be successful in this is not it. But it's somehow worked for me. It has somehow worked for me to not think about pinito ba yung diskarte ko, ganyan. And I'm just thankful na ganun yung like you said, I thrive more sa instinct than technique. So, ayun, and siguro a big part of it is also when I'm doing something, I really try to enjoy it. I don't go somewhere and then ay trabaho na naman to. So, andun ka na eh. Gawin mo na
Andun
lang
ka
siya,
na.
'di ba?
Yes.
Mag-enjoy ka na lang, enjoy mo na lang siya kasi it's not like pinapakain ka ng okra, 'di ba? Parang 'di ba? Maganda naman to, kumakanta ka pa rin naman eh. Umaarte ka pa rin naman. Minsan mahirap, minsan hindi mo gusto yung kanta, minsan hindi mo gusto yung role, but it's definitely a far cry from, magbuhat ka ng, magsasaka ka, alam mo yun, which is really hard.
Yeah.
Kudos to those people who can do that and still be like happy about it. Because if you made me do that, I'd be happy to have a job, but I won't, hindi ako matutuwa sa ginagawa ko, di ba? Kasi ang hirap nun eh.
Oo nga.
Ang hirap nun eh. Ito, hindi to mahirap. Mahirap to in the standards of what we're doing. Kasi yun nga, minsan mas may mataas na kanta, mas may minsan kailangan mong sumayaw or something. Okay, in that definition, mahirap siya. Pero hindi siya mahirap.
Correct.
Hindi siya mahirap.
It's still fun. Masaya pa rin siya. And at the end of the day, you're still being able to do what you love to do to some in one form or another. All right, that's fantastic. Thank you, Nyoy. Thank you for that. Okay, we're gonna go into the rundown right now. For
Yo!
10 quick questions. 10 quick questions for Nyoy Volante. Okay, first thing that comes into your head. Okay, don't think. Just use your instinct. You're better when you use your instinct. Okay.
Okay. You know what? Sorry, can I just
go.
say na alam ko may rundown kayo di ba? I did, hindi ko siya binasa kasi gusto ko natural yung
Very good.
Yung sagot ko.
Very good. Okay, question number 1. What is your favorite word?
Marvel.
Marvel. Not DC. Marvel.
No, Marvel. Yes.
Okay.
Marvel.
Number 2. What is your least favorite word?
Vegetables.
Me
Just
too.
like you.
Okay, number 3. Nyoy, what turns you on?
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay, what turns you off?
Vegetables.
Okay, what sound or noise do you love?
When someone says Marvel.
What sound or noise do you hate?
When someone says vegetables.
Vegetables. Okay, what is your favorite curse word?
Oh, fuck. Definitely fuck.
There's so many ways to say it, di ba?
Yeah, sabi nga ni Stanley, I just saw, it's Marvel talaga. But I just saw this, na sabi niya, it can be a verb, it can be a noun,
Yes.
Yeah, basta.
So many uses. Okay, number 8. What habit or behavior annoys you the most?
Oh, okay. Mine? My
Yours
habit?
or somebody else's?
Habit. Okay, sa akin, I don't know, for some reason, I just always have to, ano ba tawag doon?
You crack your neck?
I crack my neck, and sometimes I don't even have to do it, but I do it. Siguro naging mannerism na lang.
Uh-oh.
And it's actually, quite phenomenal that I haven't done it too much tonight. Kasi usually talaga, as in, and I hate that. I really hate that.
What about behavior from other people?
Oh,
That
I just,
annoys you.
I don't like it when people lie.
Hmm.
Yun lang. It's so vague, but talagang it really turns me off. I really don't like it.
Okay. All right. Question number 9. If you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would that be?
Living Jason Mraz,
Hmm.
I love that guy. I think he's very charismatic. And, dead, Freddie Mercury.
Wow. Wow. What a collaboration that would be. Okay. Question number 10. Okay. When you get to heaven, which is not going to be a long, it's going to be a long time but for now. Okay. When you get to
Okay.
heaven, what do you think God will say to you?
Ah, my perfect project.
Ang galing. My perfect project. Good job. Okay, one for the road. One for the road.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Now,
Okay.
what words of wisdom or advice would you give to any artists just starting out in music today?
I think nasabi ko kanina most of it. So I'm
Hmm.
just gonna support it by saying it again. Be respectful sa lahat ng katrabaho mo, big or small. Never underestimate anyone because you don't know what they're capable of. And, I mean, more than what they are, baka hindi mo alam boss sila. But more than that, hindi mo alam kung mas magaling siya sa'yo or meron siyang alam na hindi mo alam. You know what I mean? So, just to be safe, just be respectful. Just assume. Just assume na you're not greater than this person.
Yes.
And work hard. That's sort of a given, but it's real. It's very parang baduy, di ba? Na parang cliche na sabihin na one of the things talaga is to work hard. But it is. It really is. Yun talaga yung kahit na sobrang daming beses na siyang binibigay as an advice, there's a reason why. It's because it's real. It really is what you need to do. You need to work hard. And um, just don't settle for something that you're not happy with. It's just, at the end of the day, after working because you need to earn money, next to that talaga is, you need to make yourself happy doing this, or else you're not gonna love what you're doing. Therefore, you're not gonna do it 100%. And when you don't do that 100%, it's not gonna be as good as it's supposed to be. So yeah, and last but not the least, never underestimate an opportunity because you don't know where it might lead
All right. Okay, last call. Last call.
to.
What do you want to be most remembered for?
Okay, as human beings, marami tayong ganyan, di ba? Ang dami natin ano. Ako, I just wanna be someone that when people speak of me, they just want me to be, they just talk about me as that guy who they want to be with. Yung gusto ko siya na, gusto kong kasama yun. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Natutuwa ako pag kasama ko siya. Parang ganun. Parang when I'm not there anymore, mamimiss nila ako because they always wanted me to be there. They wanted my company. It doesn't matter why. If it's for the music, if it's for the acting, if it's for just being a friend, or just because I'm very, very handsome. It doesn't matter which one of those. Pero, yeah, I just want to be remembered as that guy that they were very fond of being with.
Yes, and that's exactly what I'm getting now. I've missed you, Nyoy. I've
I
missed
miss
your
you, man.
company, and I'm so thankful that agreed to do our little show tonight. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nyoy.
Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, thank you. Hey, what's next for you? What are you busy with now?
Ah, okay. Well, right now, aside from those two songs that I released, there's an entry sa Philpop
Ooh,
2020, which is Huling Sayaw. It was written by this really great songwriter, Kian Dionisio. Yun nga, the title is Huling Sayaw, and I'm the one who interpreted it.
all
So
right.
please support that, and please support the whole Philpop movement. by listening to the songs. Ang daming magaganda, as in sobrang daming magaganda kanta. Of course, Showtime and ASAP are still there. So, support pa din po. Nood pa lang nanood kasi, you know, we always strive our best to give you good entertainment. And I'm gonna, just because I've started it, I'm gonna continue writing and recording songs. So watch out for that. But my existing songs are still here. Yung mga nagawa ko this year, 2020, they're very special to me just because they're, personal projects of mine. So I Wanna Kiss You and Awit Ko Na Nasulat Dahil Sa Kagandahan Mo, and their music videos are still out. So please just go to nyoyvolante.net. Nandun lahat ng links to the videos, to the audio, um, and my social media accounts are also there, Instagram, Facebook. So nyoyvolante.net, it's all there.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Nyoy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I love you, man.
I love you,
And I
man.
hope I hope to see you soon, face to face. We can continue our kulitan.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been so fun.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nyoy Volante. Woo! Wow, man. I miss that guy. And really, from such humble beginnings, from such a very, very talented guy, I can't just get over how he kept on fighting each and every opportunity that came his way until he finally accepted that he should be an artist, that he should be on stage. And I think and I firmly believe that the world is richer for it. The world is a better place because we have people like Nyoy Volante giving us their songs, giving us their energy, giving us their good vibes, and really, honestly, from personal experience, ang sarap niya talagang kasama. All right, so yay, that's what a great episode. I love talking to all these guys. Thank you, Suspiria Pink. Thank you, Nyoy Volante. And hey, we just want to remind you guys, okay, from Offshore Music, Enamori just released Fall in Love Reimagined. It's a slow down alternative version to the pop upbeat version, which was released last month. And its fresh new music video is now available on the Offshore YouTube page. Also, Sulo. The lyric video for their new single Sigwa will be released this weekend. And the JR Oka Experience, the funk jazz trio, of course, is releasing their EP on December 4 called The Experience Mo Na Ba. And don't forget, June Lupito's new album, Bodhi 3 NMRK, is still out and it's still rocking, guys. So let's keep on supporting Filipino music, good Filipino music. And there's a lot of music coming out these days. And of course, we'd like to thank our friends from liquor.ph. We'd like to remind you guys, hey, there's a virtual masterclass on the Chivas Regal Scotch lineup next week. You can buy either a bottle of the brand new Chivas Regal Extra 13 Rye or Sherry. That's the Extra 13 I've got now, and it's really good. You will get 5 30 ml sample bottles of the various Chivas Regal whiskeys. All right. For example, a sample lineup. The sampler lineup, you get those small bottles of Chivas Regal 12 years old, Extra 13 Rye, Extra 13 Sherry, the 15 years, and the 18 years. So, hey, man, that's a good deal from our friends from liquor.ph. And of course, a huge, huge, huge thank you to Buenos Dias Panaderia. Your Milo buns are just such happiness in my mouth, and I'm on a mission to share my addiction. Guys, you gotta try their Milo buns. Seriously, it will change your life. So, guys, that ends our episode for tonight. Join us next week. We've got another exciting Double Trouble episode with Enamori and Gian Magdangal. We're going to see what they're like as musicians and as people, and we're going to be hearing some funny stories as well. So, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much to Offshore Music. I'd like to remind you to stay safe, stay strong, stay sane, keep on rocking, keep on rolling, and if all else fails, man, let the music keep you going. And if you find that life has got you shaken up or stirred, a little mixed up, or even on the rocks, what matters most is that you take your shot. Cheers. Thank you so much. I'm Jamie Wilson. This is On the Rocks. Good night.